Welcome to my channel, All for Health with Jane. Family, we are still on the AKA and Tibz murder case. You know, we are from the Easter holidays. I am aware that most of us have missed some of this news. On this video, we will focus on accused number 2 in connection with his application for bail. Accused number 2, by the name Zenzele Ndimande, he says he was forced by SAPS members to confess. Whatever confession that he has given, he says it was because they have forced him to do that. And then another thing, one of the reasons that he gives for him to convince the court to give him bail, he says he is a ward councillor. He's a respectable person in the community as a ward councillor. He is assisting people in his community, and he owns 4 minibus taxis that are making an income for his family. He said again he will afford a bail of 20,000 rands. And one last thing that I heard is because he says if he is released, he definitely knows that he's not going to cause any shock to the community. You know, now that he's a respectable person in the community, there is no way the community will be shocked by his being released by bail. So those are some of the reasons that his attorney or his legal representative, Mr. Volmarans, is giving on his behalf. Family, let's listen to this.
It is respectfully submitted that there is no likelihood in existence that I would, if I was to be released on bail, endanger the safety of the public or any particular person, or that I will commit a Schedule 1 offence. It is respectfully submitted that this would be a guide clearly taking into account the factors mentioned in Section 60 sub 5 of the Act, namely, the charges as I foresee them do not involve the threat of violence made by anyone, and particularly not me. There is no proof that I harbour any resentment or commit violence against any person. There is no acceptable and admissible evidence that I have previously committed an offence referred to in Schedule 1. In the premises, the factors mentioned in Section 60 sub 4a, read with Section 60 sub 5, are in my submission absent, and therefore there can be no likelihood that I will endanger the safety of the public at all. It is respectfully submitted that the factors to be taken into account as set out in Section 60 sub b are simply not present here in either. I digress to indicate, as I am informed and verily believe, that this particular aspect deals with the primary consideration in bail application, namely whether or not I will stand my trial. I will deal with the main relevant factors in this respect. My emotional, family, community and occupational ties are all situated in KwaZulu-Natal, and in particular within the area of jurisdiction of this Honourable Court. My fiancée resides in Gauteng, which address has or was verified during my pending bail application as previously stated. I have no family residing outside the borders of the Republic of South Africa. I am self-employed in this regard. If I am to be incarcerated pending the finalisation of my trial, my business will be ruined as it is a cash business. I am a public face and the driving force behind this business. Arrest and detention on its own, quite apart from the negative publicity which normally accompanies it, would ruin my business and ruin the livelihood of my employees and their families. My children attend school and the school fees are paid by me from the income I generate from my business. I am able to afford an amount of 20,000 rand for bail and cannot be able to afford to forfeit this amount of bail, which may be set by this court. I record that if I'm refused bail, I would not be able to meet my monthly obligations. The minibuses I owned are subject to monthly installments from financial institutions. I respectfully submit that the strength of the state case against me is insignificant and is allegedly based on circumstantial evidence. I challenge the state in this regard to provide any eyewitnesses to my partaking in the killing of the deceased and any objective evidence such as fingerprints lifted from an object or a place which may place me in a compromising position. The unlawful conduct of the members of the SAPS in forcing me to confess amounts to exceptional circumstances on its own. Their conduct amounts to a gross negation of my constitutional right. It also shows extreme malice on the part of the state, and such conduct profoundly affects the fairness of the investigation, progress, and any future trial. Surely such conduct cannot be the norm, and it is not then. If not, it is then an exception. It must therefore follow that it amounts to an exceptional circumstance and its very own. Factors mentioned in section 60 sub 4c read with section 60 sub 7. I respectfully submit that there exists no likelihood that if I am released on bail, would attempt to influence or intimidate witnesses or conceal or destroy evidence. In this regard, it would appear that all exhibits the police to prove charges are in possession of the state, and therefore there's simply no way that I could conceal or interfere with or destroy any such exhibits. I do not know who the state witnesses are. I have not misled or attempted to mislead the SAPS or supplied any false information at the time of my arrest, nor have I given false information herein. In the premises, none of the factors mentioned in section 60 sub 4d, read with section 60 sub 8, militate against my release on bail at present. Even though all of the precise charges are known at this point in time, there is no proof that members of the local community or the media would have a sense of shock or outrage in this regard. I submit that there is no evidence that my release could cause shock or outrage in the community and would lead to public disorder. I will challenge the investigating officer and the state to prove cogent proof of such outrage, which is substantially more than simple mere hearsay evidence. My release would not undermine or jeopardize the public confidence of the criminal justice system. All that the public confidence required is that there is a proper, transparent, and constitutional bail process. I believe with respect that the public only requires that the rules be followed and respects the court's judgment, and would be a sad day if something, or if sometimes unfounded and uninformed views of the public override the court's discretion. I have not caused any delays and will not cause any delay with the conclusion of the trial. In fact, those representing me would have preferred to go to trial. As a matter of urgency, once we've received disclosure of the state docket and have prepared on it, I need to be released on bail so that I can play an active role in the preparation of my defense. I challenge the state a motive as to why I would have wanted to kill the deceased. In conclusion, I respectfully request this honourable court to grant me bail as this court deems fit. In this regard, I am prepared to abide by reporting conditions. Finally, I respectfully submit that when one considers my personal circumstances, the conduct of the police, and the weak case against me, I have proved exceptional circumstances which, in the interests of justice, leads to my granting of bail. The matter has been, or the affidavit has been signed by the accused. There's a confirmatory affidavit to Kusinde Ndimande. Do hereby make oath and state I'm an adult male, I'm a South African citizen who's with identity number that, residing at Osilwane Reserve in Pangeni, Tribal Authority. I am a Ward 13 councillor. The contents of this affidavit are within my personal knowledge and belief, unless the context indicates to the contrary, are both true and correct. I am duly authorised to depose to this affidavit and deal with those proceedings on behalf of the applicant. In my capacity as ward councillor, I am responsible for the day-to-day administration of the ward, including issuing proof of addresses to residents under the tribal authority. I've read the founding affidavit of the second applicant and confirmed the contents thereof as far as they relate to matters concerning my ward. I can confirm the above-mentioned individual is a resident of my ward. For ease of reference, I append a copy of proof of address issued by my office, and that is annexed to the affidavit. That is the case for the second applicant, George.
You confirm the content of this statement, Mr. Ndimande? Statement accepted, handed in marked Exhibit D. As good.
Family, from all these reasons that are given by Mr. Volmarans on behalf of Zenzele Ndimande, do you think Zenzele Ndimande must be given bail? Or do you think Zenzele Ndimande must remain in custody until he is proven guilty or not? Family, in the comment section, let's talk about it. Thank you very much for watching this video to the end. Please like it before you leave. Subscribe for my channel if you haven't done so yet, family. I love you. Thank you. Bye.